getting a tremendous reception from this crowd.
In the red corner, we have the greatest boxer of our time, defender of the world's boxing crown, from Louisville, Kentucky, USA, weighing in at 225 pounds, wearing white trunks with black stripes, the heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali! Muhammad Ali! Ali!
Ali introduced as the greatest boxer of all time. Just one little exchange between Ali and Bugner. Bugner looking totally unconcerned. The weights don't mean much. They weighed in 2 days ago. Ali weighed in at 16 stone 1, Bugner 16 stone 6. So on those weights, 5 pounds advantage, but they could be any weight at all right now. Probably heavier than they weighed in. The odds 3-1 on Muhammad Ali for another successful defense of the title. And Bugner bidding to become the greatest British boxing hero of all time. And they come out quite fast in this heat. The temperature in the 80s. It's humid and hot. Jabs smart and fast into the face of Ali. Not in the slightest overawed by the look of him. They're moving fast in the heat and humidity, which is a little surprising. And Ali is working to see if he can catch him with a sucker punch. Bugner, an inch taller than Ali at 6'4" and 3 inches more reach. And 8 years younger. They're wearing 8-ounce gloves. And it's 5 to 10 in the morning as this fight gets underway. Ali, right hand got over the top of Bugner's guard. Bugner looks to his corner, unconcerned. This is the second time these two have met. They had a non-title fight in Las Vegas 2 years ago. And Bugner pulls Ali's head down. The sort of thing that Ali does to him, there it is. The arm around the back of the neck, the old familiar Ali tactic. Bugner taking 1 or 2 good head punches, but getting that jab to work in the face of the champion. That's good jabbing. No posing from Bugner. No statue stuff. He looks good. And that is not a bad opening round at all by anybody's standards on both sides. They went off fast in this 80-odd degree heat. And Ali looking pretty fit. Still looking a little heavier than in his best days, but all the same got off to a fast start. And the question, of course, is can they keep this up for 15 rounds in the heat of Kuala Lumpur? Ali already up off the stool, ready for the second round. And so is Bugner. Nobody quite knows what sort of dehydration will take place as this goes on. Angelo Dundee, the manager of Ali, predicted that Ali will knock out Bugner in 8 or 9 rounds. Here comes the shuffling and the dancing. He doesn't keep this up for too long these days. And how wise will it be to do this in the heat of Malaysia? Bugner said last week in the later stages of training that I won't be trying to knock him out in the early rounds, but I will be trying to wear him down. Ali putting together the sort of early attacks that he showed against George Foreman in Zaire 8 months ago when he regained his world title. He's still dancing. He's been doing this since the beginning of the round. Bugner went 12 rounds with him in a non-title fight 2.5 years ago in Las Vegas. Got his eye cut in the first round in that fight, Bugner. No trouble this time so far. Ali still dancing. Hasn't landed many punches, Ali. Everything's been done with the legs, but not much with the fists. No really significant moves yet on either side in this fight. Bugner slipping inside some of these punches. So 2 rounds completed. Ali's done his bit of dancing. We'll see whether he comes up for the third. Dancing like that. I wouldn't think the corner will want him to keep that up for too long. And Bugner unmarked, unconcerned, and looking totally relaxed. Bugner said if he clowns about on the ropes, I should just move away and leave him to it. But the odds are 3-1 on Ali to win. Bugner's 220-odd thousand pounds is over 4 times as much as he's ever earned for one fight before. And Bugner's making Ali go fast, and that might be very interesting if this fight goes a long way. Because one of these is going to have to wilt somewhere along the line in this heat and humidity. Looking for the punches to come, seeing them come, but couldn't quite get back far enough because the ropes pulled him up short. Tries coming from Bugner's corner, make the other fellow work. Well, he's doing that. Ali talking to him now. And really, Bugner is bringing the best out of Ali. Ferdy Pacheco, the doctor, in the corner, giving him a clap, Ali, as he comes back. And Bugner's making him go. Ali's having to work hard. That's 3 fast rounds he's put in so far, which is a little surprising in this heat. So Ali, a shade ahead now on initiative. Made most of the running, done most of the attacking. It's being scored on a 5-point system, this fight. 5 points to the winner of a round, and then 4 or 3 and so on to the loser. Ali comes up with an exaggerated run. Now he really is clowning. This is all designed to try and con Bugner into making a mistake or to lose his temper, force him into things he doesn't want to do, confuse him. Typical Ali psychological trick. The man is using up his energy at a tremendous rate. Totally different performance again from Ali. Against Foreman, after a few rounds, he began to lie on the ropes. He did the same thing against Ron Lyle 6 weeks ago in Las Vegas. Did a lot of lying on the ropes and has done none of it so far. Bugner still at the centre of the wheel. This is the rope stuff. That's what he calls the rope-a-dope. Back from some left jabs, and Bugner says, come on, you come to me. He really does not fear this man at all. Bugner says, come on back, and Ali doesn't need to be told. And the pair of them really look as though they're enjoying every minute of it. Four rounds now got Ali, a shade ahead. Won the last couple of rounds on sheer aggression, making the running, taking the fight to Bugner. It's a very creditable performance so far from Bugner, there's no doubt about that. He's putting on the fight of a lifetime here. Ali standing up again. If Bugner were to win this fight, he would be only the 5th European fighter in history to take the World Heavyweight Championship. The others were Bob Fitzsimmons, Max Schmeling, Primo Carnera, and Ingemar Johansson from Sweden, the last one in 1959. He would also be the first white World Heavyweight Champion since Johansson. Getting to work with quick, snaking jabs. They're catching the champion. And he couldn't get away because Bugner held him. Solid-looking right swing from Ali to the body. One thing about Bugner, he can always take a good punch, and took better punches than this from Joe Frazier. He had a non-title fight with Frazier at Earl's Court in '73 after he'd fought Ali. And he went the distance with Frazier as well. Bugner is strong, he's big, he's heavier than Ali, we think. He's an inch taller, 3 inches more reach, and 8 years younger. Ali talking to him. There's a tremendous amount of advice being shouted from Ali's corner. The morning sun hammers down on this canopy. And back he comes again. Elbow in. Two good punches from Ali. Bugner looks totally unconcerned again, looks around him calmly and casually. Bugner having to take some stinging left jabs in the face. Getting his gloves up now to try to ward them off. And it's certainly one of the best fights Bugner's ever put up. Come on, he says, you come to me. Five rounds, 1/3 of the distance completed. And Ali a little bit out in front. But really, this is a performance and a half by Bugner, who has never at any time been overawed. He respects the man, but he's not frightened by him, and he's not been conned by him. And altogether, it's a considerably better performance than we get from most of Muhammad Ali's opponents. And Bugner, dripping sweat now, as the sun begins to come up. And Ali leads his own cheering, just like he did in Zaire against Foreman. now 10:15 in the morning in Kuala Lumpur. Ali testing the strength of Bugner's punch just to see what he can do. Typical Ali clowning. Bugner just flicking the punches, rather like Frazier did in the first fight with Ali. He didn't quite know what to do when Ali stood there and took him. Well, you might as well let him go, Joe. The opportunity's there. They're playing peekaboo with each other. Isn't it strange how Ali gets opponents into this frame of mind? Bugner clearly fighting under strict orders. He said he wouldn't open up too much in the early rounds. Looks to me as though Ali is determined to build up a big early lead in case he fades away a bit at the end under the heat. Bugner pulling Ali's head down, reversing the tactics. That's a typical and favourite Ali tactic. Ali still making most of the running. Bugner still up on his toes, not been hurt, but just dropping behind on the scoring, at least on my card. And Ali doesn't even bother to sit. Well, it's a remarkable performance by the 33-year-old champion. And it's a remarkable performance too from Bugner. Strange now to think that in 1970, Bugner actually paid $1,000 to have Ali spar with him in New York. And now he's getting $500,000 for the real thing. One of the big telling factors in this fight is likely to be Joe's lack of a really heavy punch. He doesn't have the big punch. In fact, he's only knocked out 5 opponents in 58 fights. He's stopped plenty, but very few clean knockouts. Both men now sweating freely as the temperature rises in Kuala Lumpur. Bugner having a good round here. Ali's eased up a bit in this round. No dancing. Flat on his feet now. Nothing there. His punch is not landing. Bugner's covered up. There are only slaps anywhere. Been quite a good round for Bugner. And what useful punching has been done by the European champion. Ali comes late. Only a little bit of show, and it didn't mean very much. That was a good round for Bugner. 25 years old. 59th fight. When this fight was first announced, people generally didn't give Bugner much of a chance, but as time has gone on, so he's gained respect, and certainly in Kuala Lumpur, where he's got a big following for the way he's behaved himself during training in Malaysia. Ali has upset a few people, apparently, with rather exaggerated antics, but still got plenty of support. Some disturbance in the crowd now. tremendous police cordon in this stadium, guarding against suspected communist terrorist activities. So Bugner going well, in no trouble, behind on points, but still in there with every chance. Ali back up on his feet again. Stinging left jab again. Angelo Dundee pointed out one or two alleged technical faults in Joe Bugner's style before this fight. Said he was susceptible to hooks which go around his guard and hit him on the head. The punch with which Ali's had most success is the left jab. Neither man marked. Bugner now beginning to show some little bursts of ferocity. And that could well be an answer to a call from Andy Smith, because Smith is crying out to Bugner, start stepping it up now. We're just about at the halfway stage if it goes 15. Oh, what a good right hand that was, a whiplash right hand. That's the sort of punch that knocked out Foreman. In this round too. But again, it's a totally different fight from any of those Ali has fought recently. It's not a bit like the Foreman fight, or the Chuck Wepner fight, or the Ron Lyle fight. None of the lying on the ropes, not too much clowning, serious business. And looking in every way, Ali, as though he regards Bugner as quite a menacing challenger, and determined not to let him get on top. Good round for Ali. Done a lot of work and a fair bit of scoring. Only one little burst of action from Bugner. Ali talking to Bugner and saying, come on, let's have the jab. So we're now past the halfway mark of this scheduled 15-rounder for the World Heavyweight Championship in Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia, in front of about 20,000 people, some of whom are paying 180-odd pounds for a seat. And Bugner now has got to start stepping it up. He's dropped behind on points, not seriously. There's still plenty of time to make it up, particularly if Ali were to wilt. Ali leads the cheers as he comes out for the ninth. The great surprise of this fight has been the speed at which they've fought in the hot and humid conditions. Bugner won't be drawn to the ropes, says, come on, you come off and come to me. These are good jabs. One looks for signs of either of these slowing down. Not much sign of it so far. Good punches in there from Ali as Bugner gets momentarily trapped on the ropes. Nearly all head punches that Ali's throwing, very little to the body. And Bugner is well versed in the Ali tactics. He's obviously studied this man. put him in a test tube, as Gene Tunney once said about Jack Dempsey. But Ali always keeping that little bit on top in most of the rounds by doing plenty of work and throwing quite a lot of punches. Never at any time has he allowed Bugner to dominate him. But it's fair to say that at no time has the world champion ever looked like having Bugner in any serious trouble. There's another round, narrowly won, but won nonetheless by Muhammad Ali. And the two of them looking as though they're really enjoying the exercise. $2.5 million they're picking up between them. This man getting 2 million of them. Close on £1 million. The rate the pound's going down, it soon will be £1 million. So we're rapidly approaching the 2/3 distance. No knockdowns. Neither man ever seriously in trouble. But Ali always that shade ahead in most of the rounds. It's tempting to wonder how well Bugner might do if he had a bigger punch. His right has been used sparingly. Bugner looking worried by that right hand that caught him. Japanese referee, Mr. Takao Ugo. Two judges also at the ringside, one from Australia, one from Thailand. In a sense, the appointment of officials has been a small victory for the British camp. It's generally expected that Americans would dominate the refereeing and judging. In fact, there's not one American there at all. Bugner opening up with some unaccustomed flailing swings. Could do with a bit more of that at this stage of the fight now, because he's got to start opening up if he wants to pull back the leeway. And still no sign that either man is in any trouble at all from the heat. They've trained for these conditions and it's paid off. Bugner, in fact, before he came out here to Kuala Lumpur, went to the RAF medical establishment at Farnborough, and he donned a plastic suit and he worked at 110 degrees and 90% humidity in order to get himself acclimatized to the Malaysian conditions. Ali again sensing the end of the round coming up and putting together another of these last moment attacks that catch the judge's eyes. This crowd responding to this fight. That's a good attack by Bugner. Got the right hand in. Hard and close fought round. So now we are 2/3 of the way through. Both corners must be well satisfied with the condition of their men. Two fit men, trained for the heat. 11th round. must have been quite an experience for Bugner to rise at 4:30 this morning and to receive a message from the Queen wishing him good luck. And that, to my knowledge, has never happened before. And it would be very interesting to see what would happen if Bugner could just time one good right hand on the chin of Ali. What might happen? Punch that Ali in the past has shown himself to be susceptible to is the left hook. It's the punch with which Frazier put him down in the last round in 1971. The only world heavyweight title fight that Ali's ever lost. These are the moments when Ali begins to open up with that built-in clock in his mind, sensing the end of the round. This time, Bugner takes over at the end. Four rounds to go. Bugner's had two quite fair rounds in the last two rounds. But Ali still out in front on my card. And this is the stage of the fight now, where Joe Bugner, the European heavyweight champion, bidding to be the first British holder of the title this century. This is the moment when he's got to get going if he wants to win this fight. I would doubt myself now whether he could win this on points. If he wants to win it, he's got to get the man on the floor. And Ali doesn't look like a man who's prepared to go down. This is the slickest moving we've seen from the champion for a long time. In recent fights, he's shown a tendency to loaf around a lot, to conserve his energy. It was generally thought that's what he'd do in this one. That given the Southeast Asian conditions, he would spend a lot of time not moving around too much. In fact, it's been just the opposite. But that's very much in the nature of the man. He usually does the opposite to what everybody expects. Two good right hands, one to the body and one to the head. Those are two of the best punches he's landed in the whole fight, and he's forced the man to back up. Now Ali slithering and sliding all over the place to get off those ropes, and he taps Bugner on the bottom, and Bugner has to smile, and the crowd love it. Bugner now sensing that he's got to do something. He's got to find the big punch to do some damage to this man. And he's letting him go. But he can't find a clean way through. This Japanese referee has had very, very little work to do. Good open fight most of the way. A little bit of this sort of stuff, but not too much. This is the sort of thing Bugner's got to do. If he could keep this going now for 4 rounds, he might have a bit of success. And in fact, that was quite a useful round for Bugner. And there's a big chant for Bugner. Joe, Joe. And he responds. Bugner must keep attacking. Nothing else for it now. Must keep coming forward. Try to take something out of Ali, who still looks light on his feet and fresh. Neither man marked. Bugner's escaped the trouble he had in the first fight 2.5 years ago in Las Vegas, when he got his left eye cut in the opening round and had to live with it for 12 rounds. He's put up a much better fight in this one than he did 2.5 years ago. Since Ali regained the title from Foreman, he hasn't had to go 15 rounds. It's beginning to look as though he might have to. There's a bit of a bump coming up at the side of Ali's left eye. He had the same trouble against Ron Lyles 6 weeks ago in Las Vegas. And the sun now must be, and Bugner looking for the first time a little bit marked and worn. But Ali has got slight trouble now near the left eye. It looks swollen, and the corner have been working on it. And it might well be that there's a slight cut near that left eye on Ali's face. So the damage hasn't all been one way. We're in the next to last round, and this fight now almost certain to go the distance. And still time for Bugner to pull off the surprise of the century, if he could find the punch to do it with. Oh. Whatever happens now, it's safe to say that this is the best British challenge for the heavyweight championship since Tommy Farr went the distance with Joe Louis in 1937. Good right hand from Ali, quick. The speed of punch is still there. The legs aren't moving like they were earlier on. That's hardly surprising. The man went off fast, and he was determined to go off fast to build a lead just in case, and that's what he did. Good left hands from Bugner. His left hand has been his most effective weapon. We've always known that. If he had a big right to match it, he would be one tremendous fighter. And Bugner trying to kid the champion. Well, there was nothing to that, but Ali will know better. And the attacks are becoming a little bit more frequent from Ali now as we get towards the end of this fight, and Bugner's not throwing too much. He's having to take it. But he's strong and game. And the signs are that he's going to last the distance. And there's blood on Ali's face. It's coming from near the left eye. You can see him blinking now from the left eye. There's a slight cut there. That's trouble that Ron Lyle gave him 6 weeks ago, and Bugner has reopened it. So there we are, the end of the 14th. There's one to go. Bugner still upright. And Ali has put on certainly his best performance since the Foreman fight. It's better than he did against Chuck Wepner and better than he did against Ron Lyle, although he stopped Lyle and Wepner. But he's gone so fast under the conditions. He's got himself fit. He treated Bugner as a challenger with a lot of respect, and he got himself thoroughly fit for this because he suspected that he would have to go 15 rounds, and that's just what he's had to do. Very nearly overhead and blazing down on this canopy and making this ring like a furnace. Comes the accustomed Ali attack towards the end of the round, sets up the big one again. Bugner holds on to weather the storm. Gets the heel of the glove in his face for his pains and gets a pummeling around the body as well. Vicious uppercut. That's as good an attack as Ali has set up at any time in the fight, and Bugner looks a little bit shop-worn as he goes back to the corner. That was a big attack by Ali, one of the best of the whole fight.
That's all right. You get it. You will get it. Yeah.
And he's looking down at Joe Frazier now, who's pointing up at Ali and in all probability saying, I'll be there to get you in September. Or is it October? October 1, the date of an Ali Frazier fight. But there's time yet for a surprise. 3 minutes to go. And the story of this fight, really, that Bugner's got a good left jab, and he's got strength, he's got durability. The one thing he lacks is the really good, hard, heavy punch. And that might have made all the difference. His right hand has been woefully lacking. Had he had that, then a lot of things might have been different. Ali's still up on his toes in the 15th. And he's going to finish this, Ali, in the old dancing style. Around the body, and Ali responds to it. It's Ali's brother down there calling up from the ringside, Rahman Ali in the white suit. What a good finish to this fight. And what might have happened if Bugner had put some of this together a good deal earlier? In the last minute. So the great British challenge, Bugner's attempt to become Britain's first world heavyweight champion this century. The challenge is coming to an end. He hasn't won it, but what a good show he's put on. And what a finish there is to this fight. Bugner now marked under one eye, just a graze. Ali pierced near the left eye. No knockdowns. Neither man ever in really serious trouble, except Bugner's getting some trouble now as we come to the end. Grandstand finish from Ali. Putting on his best fight since Foreman. First time he's had to go the distance in defense of this title. goes the bell, and 20,000 people rise and applaud the two fighters. That was a good World Heavyweight Championship between these two. Ali must have won it on points. There can't be any serious doubt about that. But he had to go all the way, and he had to work hard, and he had to get himself fit. He treated Bugner with respect. And Bugner, well, all credit to him. He carried the British flag well, put up a good challenge. No disgrace whatever. Did his best. The best wasn't quite good enough. But nonetheless, he'll come out of that with a great deal of credit. And Bugner is still the best white heavyweight in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the heavyweight title fight here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, between challenger Joe Bugner and champion Muhammad Ali, the decision made by the judges and the referee, unanimous decision for Muhammad Ali.
All three officials,
Muhammad Ali,
not surprisingly, make 33-year-old Ali the winner.
Muhammad Ali.
And he goes out of the ring to the usual delirious reception from the crowd. Successful defence. The third defence of the title since he regained it from George Foreman in Zaire 8 months ago.
Well, I thought Muhammad did great to win, but he hasn't got the punch anymore to do any real serious damage to big heavyweights.
Do you think he punches as hard or harder than he did when he fought you?
No.
You don't think? Well, Joe, I must say this. You practically gave away the 3rd to the 9th rounds. What were you waiting for?
Well, I knew Muhammad would come out fast, and I wanted to see how fast he was, and he was very fit. So all this bullshit about him not being fit and out of condition, that's just not true. He's very fit, and you can see that.
He's fit, all right.
Ah.
But you're fit, too.
I was fit, but I was trying to out-con Muhammad, and he seems a bit cute.
Well, we were a little bit disappointed. We had planned the fight that Joe would stay with Muhammad for the first 6 or 7 rounds, and then he would pick up and come away strong and win the fight. Unfortunately, the conditions, the heat, etc., we couldn't find the effort when it was necessary.
Was there anything you told him to do that he didn't do?
Yes, win.
Well, the scoring there was very heavily, of course, in favour of Ali, and in fact, on the three officials' cards, the best that Bugner could manage was 3 rounds. The official attendance in the end turned out to be rather less than was estimated at the time. It was 15,000 to be 104 degrees. Well, only a few hours after he'd beaten Bugner, Ali was already setting the publicity machine in motion for his next fight. That's against Joe Frazier in Manila. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment, but I've got Henry Cooper in the studio with me. Just like to get your thoughts, Henry. I mean, there's the man you tried to win the title against in '66. What are your first impressions?
Well, I thought, it was a pretty sort of dour type of fight, nothing too sparkling about it, was it? Joe, I thought fought a typical sort of Ali fight there, really, in the last 2 or 3 performances we've seen Ali, he stayed on the ropes too much in my mind. I think there was a lot of times when Ali was pressing him, perhaps, where he could have turned Ali onto the ropes himself. Perhaps we'll see some of it here. See, look, he was content to go back on the ropes, not do a lot, just lean back with his head perhaps out the top rope and let Ali just mess about there. I think a lot of the times he could have turned him and got him on the ropes and perhaps, belted away at his body there. But it's, there we are again. It's nothing, see, Joe there could have got his, if he could just learn to turn a man, just get a man by the elbow and turn him, it would make all the difference, I think, yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that always surprises me about Ali, Henry, is that he always seems to do exactly the opposite of what everybody anticipates. Yep. Now, when he fought Foreman, everybody said, well, what he must not do is go in and trade punches with Foreman because he'd get out-slugged, and that's just what he did do. He went in. Now, this one, everybody said he's going to have to conserve his energy. In fact, he came out and went fast, and he's done for a long time.
Well, see, this is the guy. This is the guy. He's a great improviser. I've always said boxing is like ad-libbing. It's no good going in the ring with a set plan, because if your opponent doesn't do what you've planned and you've worked your moves out, well, you might as well throw your plan out the window. No, and this is what Ali does the best, I think. His brain is ticking over, click, 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 like a computer all the time. He is the greatest improviser in the ring out, and this is the big difference, I think, between Joe and Ali. You know, one has got a natural boxing brain, where the other one does it a little bit sort of methodically and artificially, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
A lot of people call Joe Bugner a manufactured fighter. You go along with that, do you?
Well, I think, you know, you've got to somehow. You know, he just doesn't... I mean, you look at most of Joe's fights, they all look alike. If you, you know, they all look the same sort of performance, if you know what I mean. Whereas Ali can vary. I mean, one day, as you say, he's on the ropes doing nothing. Next day, we see in this fight, he's on his feet moving around, and this is the big difference between the two men.
He looked pretty sharp in this fight, Ali, didn't he? Obviously got himself fit.
Well, I think that's, you know, it must be a good compliment to Joe, I suppose. He took this fight seriously, and I think, you know, when this man, you know, takes a fight seriously, he trains 100%. I think on the Chuck Wepner fight and the Lyle fight, he done just enough to win. Here he was moving something like the old Ali of old, you know, not quite, but he can still get on, as we see there, do it, you know, bounce around for 2 or 3 rounds on the trot, and then he has to come down on the old balls of his feet again and take a breather, like, yeah.
Supposing Joe Bugner had a punch like you had, I mean, the old left hook was a bit useful, wasn't it? Supposing Joe's right hand was as lethal as your left hook, he'd be a good fighter, wouldn't he?
Good Lord, yeah, because he's got every physical, let's be honest. I mean, he looks $1 million in the ring, doesn't he? When you get a guy 6'4", 16 stone to 6, you know, I mean, if he could punch half his weight, he would be knocking these guys out the ring, you know, 40, 30 feet out of the ring. Good job he can't. But no, unfortunately, you know, he just punches with his arms. He doesn't get that leverage off the ground, off his feet, you know, and it's a tragedy, really, because, you know, he looks so good, and I think this is why he gets a bit of boot from the British public. He looks so good, and they expect so much, and then when you see him perhaps get in there and he's just a little bit hesitant, he's tapping away, the public boo him, I think, out of disappointment. Yeah?
But still, you come home with a bit of credit from that one.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, he's had a, you know, he's gone the distance again. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Henry.
Nice of it.
So it's 78 years since Bob Fitzsimmons won the World Heavyweight crown for Britain, and it looks as though we'll just have to go on waiting.